Hi there, and welcome back to the Red Star Rugby League channel, the app, wherever you're watching from. Today we've got a fantastic show. We've got a superstar lineup. We've got Serbian international Vladimir Milutinovic joining us from Partizan, and Scottish international Fergus Simpson from Red Star joining us as well. How are you both doing, boys?
Not too bad at all, mate.
Yeah, all good, mate.
No, perfect. We've got a big show coming up. Obviously, we've got these two massive guests joining us. I think we'll just start with the news that Dorcol versus Nice has been postponed today. The Dorcol Tigers and Nice were supposed to be playing a little bit later today on Sports Flick. But that will not be happening. That game being postponed to just after the season break. But we've still got one huge game to look forward to, and we'll jump straight into that one. It is Red Star versus Partizan. I mean, Partizan, you guys have won the last three, Vladimir, and what's been done at the club to raise the standard so high? What are you guys doing differently that's set you apart from where you were?
Yeah, I think the best thing that happened to us last year was a player who came to Partizan, Serbian national Stevan Stevanovic, not because one player can change the game. It's not about that. I think it's because he changed the perception of the other players to the rugby league in Serbia. And when you have a big superstar in your team, everyone wants to show off, everyone wants to show their best and stuff like that. So I think all of the players, because changing some little things, not anything big, just play simple and stuff like that, about play the ball, line speed, and tackle, defense, everything. So I think that's the best thing that happened to us. And every player from Partizan are really, really good working with him. And now I think we are on the good path.
Yeah, he's an absolute weapon up the middle. Is Steva, the way you use him on the edges, he's a big bloke. I mean, Fergus, you've had the displeasure of lining up against him a couple of times at this point. How imposing is having someone like Stevanovic coming straight at you?
Yeah, well, I've dealt with him flying out the line at me a few times so far already, which is nice to see because he's a big frame, But no, Vladimir hit the nail on the head there. Partizan, obviously, coming from the outside and watching the games before coming over and watching them perform really well. It's the simple stuff they've done really well. They've got good middles, they've got big guys all around the park, but all those big guys can play pretty well. Like the tip play is good. They certainly beat us around the middle for that kind of thing. We really need to improve on that kind of tip play and that support and that push. That's what they do really well. It's a hard team to play against when you've got 13 guys on the field who are all pushing after the ball and all raring to go every second of the game. And it's a mentality thing. Obviously, their mentality's been they're on a good momentum kind of streak, and they're playing really well at the moment. It's a hard thing to stop in defence, especially when they get that play the ball going fast forward. And I guess that's our job today, is to stop that kind of thing from coming through.
I'm blushing, mate. That was some nice words.
I'm just sopping you up before we play, mate.
Yeah, I mean, Partizan is good to be said. Credit to the boys over at Partizan. I mean, you've got some good juniors coming through at the minute as well. You've got a young lad on the wing. His name escapes me right now, but he got 4 against Nice just a few weeks ago. And those great young players coming through. How important is your academy right now to building on where you're at?
Look, that's the funny story, because I remember we have some injuries, we have some things in our club, so our big blokes was out, and I remember playing with the Red Star. I got my heads up, looked to the Red Star, and the two prop were Sila, Stefan Jekovic, and the Chucky, like two biggest blokes and strongest bloke, I think, in Serbia, probably. And I turned around my shoulder and saw two juniors on the prop position on our team. I was like, this not will do. But these guys are like, they are willing to die just to make that tackle or to make that run. So they are so good. Our academy, very, very good players. They are no fear, no anything. I think they are just need to more and more be consistent on the training and the game. So I think that will be good. But that's the most important thing for our Partizan players, because we will always youngest team in the league. Average was the youngest team in the league every time. I was debut with 16 years old. So I think we need to stay with that politic that all of the young players are going in with the big boys.
Yeah, and Fergus, obviously you've joined Red Star now, and you'll be working with some of those younger boys who are coming up through the age groups. In fact, some of them won't be much younger than yourself, ironically.
No,
but you know,
a lot of the juniors are around the same age as me. Actually, I'm just out of being able to play.
Yeah, but I mean, I imagine that you're putting in a little bit of work with them, you know, working on shaping up as you come to the line, deceptive halfback work, that kind of stuff. I mean, what are you seeing out of the Red Star ranks so far in your time, and you know, what's that bringing to the table?
Well, it's the especially working with a lot of the juniors is trying to work out that kind of like tunnel vision kind of mentality from a lot of them. It's obviously playing. I haven't been playing rugby league for as long as I've been playing rugby union, but we're playing rugby in general since I was 4 or 3 years old. You know, that's the kind of thing we do over in England, and when I was living down in Australia and things. It's kind of trying to coach that mentality of where you're always thinking about every option to play. You know, every time you get the ball, there's a pass, there's a run, there's even a kick option sometimes, and it's like doesn't matter where we're playing on the field. When you move that mentality out of the middle and things like that, where it's like my job's just to carry, because most times when you play against good teams and things like that, the middles are always the first ball players, and that's kind of what I think needs to be coached more from the youth, because you don't have the guys who've been playing rugby their whole life, so the hands come a bit later than the running, so to speak. And half of the guys here are 17, 18, 19 years old, and they're double the size of me. Like, so it's yeah, they're all built pretty different over here. It must be all the Serbian meat and things like that. But it's so you've got the potential to have some big guys running around who are all pretty mobile. It's like Partizan middles; they're all mobile, they all move. We've got Silas moves really well and he plays the ball well. It's like having a 6'4" halfback in the middle of the field. It's crazy. But it's just that kind of thing. Trying to coach into it is just having that ability to think outside of what just your job is, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. And then, you know, we'll touch on you for a minute as well, Vlad, because I've been following the Serbian game now for a few years, and it's got to be said that you're probably in you're looking the fittest and strongest you've been for some years, and you know, it's incredible to watch your development over the last few years. What's that Partizan mentality done for you personally as a player, and how has it brought you on?
Thank you first of all, thank you on the nice word, mate. I think the Partizan, because we entered the rugby league like 8 years ago, and we didn't adapt very well in the start because we came from union, and we didn't learn the best how rugby league is working. You know, like how is the perception of the game. We just know get the ball, go, run, and that was like not that good for us. But that's why we put some standard in the rugby league Serbia, because player starts to be like a little bit afraid because we were big and strong and just going all the game. But then after Red Star, when they saw what's happening, they 3 years in a row they smashing us all over the place because they just playing with the ball. You know, like we was like looking like this, no pass, just bang bang bang, and then Red Star realized that and punished that very well. 3 years now win for us. But I think that mentality make me as a player like stronger player. Mentally stronger player, not physically, and then I think that helped me a lot. Then after we get some Australian coach here that make a huge difference, and at the end Stuart Wilkinson, who came from England, and I think that's the best rugby league person that came to our airport in Serbia anytime soon. So I think he make biggest impact on my play for me personally.
Yeah, we've got Simon Schofield here just on Facebook commenting, come play for Newcastle Knights. We're struggling without a halfback. let us know. We'll get in touch, Simon. You know, we can maybe negotiate something for Fergus. You might have to talk to Partizan if you want Vlad to come across. But let us know who you're interested in there, mate. But
that's a very different Newcastle to my Newcastle.
And that brings us on to our next topic, 32-26. As you mentioned there, Vlad, when Partizan and Red Star have played in previous years, it's not been so close. But that game where Red Star dropped down to 12 men, that semi-final was so closely contested. And how important is it to have these close games now? Because I can imagine that a lot of the Partizan players over the few years started to feel a little bit disheartened when it came to playing Red Star and playing the competition with big blowout scores.
I think we all in Partizan, we all waiting for the game with Red Star, because you never know what can happen. We can lose by 20, we can win by 20, everything can happen. So that's what to make the game funnier. And as well, for the national team, it's mean a lot to us to have a strong competition in the domestic competition. So we can be good on the national side, as you know. But I think this game 32-26, that I don't know how to say. That's like you don't have a feeling. Everyone can say no fear. Like before the game, everyone say I have no fear. I'm like like I'm easygoing, blah blah blah. But that's the bullshit. Like everyone have a fear before playing with Red Star, and I know everyone from Red Star have fear playing with us. Like not fear for the get smashed. It's like fear from not making mistake, fear from not cost the game because of something and stuff like that. So I think that's what make the game Partizan Red Star fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was actually your first game out in Serbia, was that, Fergus? And what was it like to be thrown straight into the deep end and facing Partizan almost pretty much straight off the plane?
Yeah, well, it was a bit unfortunate for me. I was jogging around the field for half of the game because when I landed on the Friday, I trained and tweaked my hamstring a bit again. But it's that tense encounter kind of thing. It's I love those kind of games. I love big games, and I was excited to be dropped in on that game kind of thing. I was pushing them to let me come out before the 25th because I knew there was a game on the weekend, and I'm lucky it happened, and it was good to be involved in. Obviously, it was our own discipline which let us down for the second half, and I almost feel like the mistakes we made defensively in the first half when we had 13 men were almost fixed in the second half when we only had 12, and I think we could learn a lot from that game. As in, it's got to be 80 minutes of intensity. You can't drop off at all against a team like Partizan because they'll punish you for it, and they've got off easily with other teams, making mistakes and not being punished for it. But as soon as you come up against competition, which matches you in the game, you're going to get punished for your mistakes. And I think today we need to limit those mistakes and hopefully play the best rugby we can play, because I've got full faith in the team that if we play how we want to play and spread the ball around, you can beat anyone that's in front of you. But both teams will think the exact same thing, so it'll be interesting to see what happens today.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of hype around this game. There's a lot of excitement around it. We got a comment here from Miller Gold just saying shout out to Red Star, and the Red Star and the Rabbitohs are brothers. But shout out to you. We love when the fans get involved. So keep those comments coming. Just get involved with the chat. And Rajko Trifunovic as well, out in France at the minute, playing with Carpentras. I believe you've had a stint out in France as well, Vlada.
Yeah. I was like 2 years ago, 2 years ago. I was in Vilna Minervo, but I think I saw. I didn't find myself that in their league. I don't know why. I was like, I have good game. The team was pretty good, but I didn't find myself out there. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I just want to say what Ferguson said. First of all, congratulations on debut against Partizan. I was like looking at you and say, what did it put him to play against Partizan first game? That's not good way to start, but you are like you have a lot of experience, so that's not a problem for you. And so the bandage track on your hamstring, hopefully it's everything good now.
It's all good now. We're in a good today.
Yeah, that's nice to see that. But I was looking at him. I just want to see what he will do, because he said he jogging all around because he was not full health. And I saw the way he threw the pass, just simple pass, and I was like, okay, we are done here. Like the hands, everything was so soft, so naturally. I was like, okay, we have a problem here. Houston, we have a problem here. It was.
No, and you know what? It's great to see. That the. Things are very good in Serbia right now. Things between Partizan and Red Star are more controlled on the field. I'd say that Partizan and both Red Star as well. We talked a little bit about discipline in there. both teams are substantially better at keeping their heads under pressure now. We've seen in previous years some scenes where things have blown up a little bit, but now, a couple of years ago, a stream like this probably wouldn't have been possible with the rivalry. But no, it's great to see that mutual level of respect between the clubs, and now we can have these conversations and really build that hype around the Serbian game together. And it's going to bring it on in leaps and bounds. It's fantastic to see.
You know how I look on that. There are not many players in the clubs in Serbia, so I think we have to have a massive respect with each other, so we can build some big base with a lot of clubs to work together in schools with the kids and everything, so we can make something big. But game Red Star and Partizan, I can easily say that's like state of origin in Australia. That's something like that. Early, like in the 80s or 90s, like fist everywhere, like shoulder charging, chaotic, yeah. But I don't know, I love it.
Yeah, and the game's only going to get better. I mean, there was a real fear that with Red Star being very dominant for a lot of years, that a lot of the Serbian league would unfortunately drop off. But now we're starting to see that the Serbian league is much more resilient, and rather than walking away, everybody's up their standards. Dorcol just last week put us within 10 points of them, 32-26 against yourselves, even going back as far as 2018, that Serbian Super Cup final in February. I think that was a 20-18 Red Star win, Stefan Nikolic scoring in the very last play of the game. So there's been some close games, and now that standard is really up, and it's exciting to see. It's very exciting to see the Serbian game coming on like this and everybody up in their standards.
That's a good thing when you play as everyone's going to breed standard off of each other. Like as soon as one team starts to match the other team has to become better to try and beat them the next time. So it's no one likes to see blowout scores all the time, and it's good to see teams switching things up. And I think last week, obviously, I wouldn't say we had a super good game, but Dorcol certainly have switched things up, and they were playing well, and it's good to see kind of something else than what I've watched from outside when I was coming over from England and things. It's good to see how the teams have progressed in a short space of time. And, that's all you want to see. You want to see closer games every week because it's going to make everyone have to become better players themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you even saw that with the Novi Beograd versus Radnicki Niš game last week. Novi Beograd are dropping down to the second division after the season split, and they got a win against Niš. That's huge. Like, the Serbian game right now is probably at its most exciting. Like, it's a great time to get involved with it.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I think I had like a little bit fear before when I were in France. Red Star was on their winning streak, smashing everybody, and that was like I was stay in the moment and says like, I think we are done. Like not Partizan. I think the Serbian Rugby League is done. Because the biggest rivalry with Red Star is Partizan, and they are winning us 60-0, 50-0 easily. What other team can expect? Like 120-0 and like finish the game. And I don't know when and how the things change. Not change, but everyone were involved. Like Novi Beograd, Niš, Dorcol. Everyone were just put the standards up. And everyone from my friend asking me, did the Red Star start playing bad? And I was like, no, they are playing like actually very, very good. So everyone just put their standard up, and now we have some like, interesting to watch. Because early everyone asked like, with who you playing? I said Red Star. Next week, with who you playing? Red Star. Next week, Red Star. And they're like, do you have any other teams or just Red Star, Partizan? And you have to start explaining like, no, it's not like that. But now I think everything we have going to the Red Star, going to Montenegro, we going to Montenegro, and like everything of that, making rugby league perfect in Serbia here.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, then we'll jump onto the preview for today's game. It's going to be a blockbuster. 32-26 in that semi-final. How do you envision today's game going? We'll start with you, Fergus. What's your predictions for today?
Well, obviously, I'm going to back us to win because you have to before you go out on the field. But I'm expecting something close again. I'm hoping for better discipline from us in defence, and I'm hoping from better defence in general because I think we've certainly now got to earn the right to score more points against teams, and especially Partizan. I don't think anyone expects any blowout wins from against anyone now, and we've really got to earn the right to play and earn the right to score some tries, and we can. Like, if we play properly, we can score tries, but I think it'll come down to defense. So I'm gonna put it quite low score, and I'll say 28-20 to us.
Okay, over to you, Vlad. What are you thinking for today?
I know what I think about our game. What we need to do. The Partizan need just to make clear in the head that we need to receive the tries. Like, we are not invisible. Like, we will receive the points. We just need to play good and easy with that. Because Partizan, when we get try earlier, we start agreeing, we start blah blah blah, heads in the floor and stuff like that. But in the last 3 games, we didn't do that, so we can see the good result of that. So today, I expect, as I said, first 10 minutes of the game, 5 minutes maybe, are deciding everything. We can see each other. We can see who is in the mood today, who is not, how they play, how we play, and penalties and stuff like that can make the game different way totally. Like, I think the points different in the beginning makes Partizan like unbeatable if we start leading in the beginning of the game. So about the score, I will say 36-30. Yeah, close game.
Okay, well, big points predictions here. I mean, there's always points when Red Star and Partizan play. As you say, there's both teams have a tendency to go through a little bit of a mad 5 minutes, either putting on plenty of points or conceding points, or back-to-back penalties. So it's going to be a very tight game. But one thing is for sure, regardless of the scoreline, it is going to be an absolute blockbuster, intense affair. Both teams are going to be up for this. Both teams are going to be playing hard. You got some big boys up the middle of the park. You got some speedsters out on the wings, and you got some talent at the back. At Red Star, you've got Milutinovic. Partizan, Dragan Jankovic popping out the back. So there's skill, there's talent, there's big bodies. This game's got literally everything for everybody who's currently falling out of love with the NRL and saying that it's going soft with the whole touch somebody on the head and get 10 minutes in the bin stuff. There will be no softness in this game. There will be no, absolutely not. So I absolutely urge everybody who has taken an interest in this live stream today, and maybe we've piqued a little bit of your interest, go to Sportsflick, sign up. It is $2.99 for an entire month. You're going to be getting a decent amount of games in there, and you're going to get to see Serbia's 2 premier teams going toe to toe today, and nobody's going to leave anything on the field. It is going to be an absolute blockbuster affair. But no, I think we will wrap that there, and just thank you boys for joining us. And it's been absolutely one of my favourite shows to do. As this, it's been absolutely fantastic. So thank you for both for joining me there, and we hope that you've enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, mate. It was.
Hope everyone tunes in today.
Was it?
I hope everyone tunes in today. Watch the game.
Sorry, I didn't hear you quite well. Can you repeat?
It's all right. I just said I hope everyone tunes in to watch the game. It's not a question.
Sorry, my British accent is not that good. I want to improve it, but it's not that good.
I barely speak English well enough myself anyway, being from Newcastle.
As I said, only thing hardest stuff for me to understand from British accent is drunk British accent. That's like impossible to understand. Impossible.
Yeah,
very true.
That's us most of the time, to be fair. But no, thank you everyone for joining us. We are going to sign off there. Let these guys go get themselves prepared for the game. Join us, and we will catch up on Sunday for another big Serbian Rugby League report. And no, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, mate. See ya.